Yeah, Third String Podcast. You already know. Talking topics, all sorts. Always everything sports. Third String Podcast. Plenty dialogue and banter. Talking all teams. But we always repping for Atlanta. Come join the discussion. You don't want to miss it. Keep it entertaining. All facts, authentic. NBA to NFL. And everything in between. This is Third String Podcast. Welcome to the team. Let's go.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Third String Podcast back with episode 43. Who's this episode dedicated to? As far as
I don't know, we gotta look at that up.
43. That's really deep. I don't know.
43. Well, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But all in all, we'll dedicate this to
Chris Humphries.
The Chris Humphries episode. Okay, cool.
You want to do?
No, man. Let's start this episode. Yeah, next time. Let's start. Oh, 44 is not hard for next time, but this one, let's not start the episode off on a bad note. So, Daryl, good sir, what do you have for us today?
Troy Polamalu. How about that?
Oh, snap.
Detroit Polamalu.
Big time. All day.
So
Good. You revived the episode.
All right.
Because I already heard and saw people clicking off of the podcast at that point.
Like Chris Humphries now.
Come back, guys. All right, here we go, guys. Daryl, what do you have for us today?
So we're starting off with baseball. To me, baseball didn't call it a nightmare scenario. It seems like it would be like the closest to a nightmare scenario. We got 17 players from the Marlins have tested positive for COVID. They have canceled.
Don't blame Canada. I don't blame Canada for shutting down that border.
Yes, 17 people. Philly, according to this morning, had 2 people test positive. So the Yankees were supposed to play the Phillies, and they said no. They postponed that.
Yeah,
Marlins were supposed to play, or the Marlins were supposed to play the Phillies, and that got postponed. And then so the Yankees are going to play Baltimore. They're going to try to reschedule these games. But so that's 19 people total has positive for the COVID.
I want to see how they're going to reschedule these games with such a compact schedule already.
Right. Already
a free time.
But do you think they're going to finish the season?
No. No, man. It's already a failed experiment.
Right.
Shout out to the Braves, though. They don't even high five each other at the end of the game.
No, that's great. I've been watching. I know last podcast you asked me did I watch the games. I'm actually watching them this week. They're just so weird without.
No, I think I asked. Did you watch soccer? Yeah.
Right.
No. You still have
it. I'm actually watching live sports, and they just look weird. But they're what we can get at this point. But I'm like you. How can you finish the season because you didn't want to put them in bubbles? Mm-hmm. And not only I learned that not only did baseball try to present a bubble, but the players didn't want it. So
I don't see how, with you going to your family and then traveling to other states.
Yes.
I don't see how this is going to work out at this point.
Yeah, a player like Mike Trout, he has his first child on the way.
Yeah.
So his wife is pregnant. He didn't want to miss the birth. And I was just like, you kind of, to me, had to pick and choose at that moment.
But he is playing, though.
He is playing.
Yeah.
But that's why, but you're risking COVID. You're risking getting COVID and then bringing it back home.
Yeah, you need to choose. You need to choose.
Yeah, so you needed to choose, but the baseball didn't want to do. The players didn't want to do that. So this is like baseball commissioner. He said that this wasn't a nightmare scenario. We're not talking about canceling the season or postponing the season. We're going to keep going. I just don't know how this kind of happens.
Right.
And I'm like, what do you do here? What do you do?
Man, people are just going to keep on catching it.
People are going to keep on catching it.
It's crazy. It's just crazy. Like, one person, as we know how it works, is going to catch it, and it's going to spread throughout the clubhouse.
Right.
They need to at least wear masks and social distance in the dugout. They are not.
Yeah, and they're saying that like players who are not, let's say like a pitcher who started last game but doesn't play this game, they're going to sit in the stands basically away from the actual team So they did some changing, but yeah, like they gotta have masks in
They don't.
the dugouts.
I see some coaches, managers having it. Some of them have them down below the whole chin guard thing. I don't see how you're not enforcing.
Why couldn't you, instead of just doing them in the dugout? I didn't never play baseball, so I don't know what the importance of the dugout is. But could they be in the actual stands?
It would take too long to get down. They need to have another way.
Like right behind the net, right behind home plate. You couldn't just
I don't
be
think
there.
there's a direct way to get to the
I would make
sand from there.
Like these are so you could space people out because these are like not normal times, so you gotta come with not normal.
My best bet would be like sit them near first base. That seems like there's probably something there, a stair set, or you guys can easily, build that. Just like how construction companies set up their little campsite, you could easily build a stair case for them. So I agree with you on that. That you could have them on the near the first base and then spread them out. But all this is speculation and just hype and hope. Rather, they're not going to do anything.
So if you're not going to do it, and we're both saying that baseball might not finish the season, what does that say about football?
Cases? Football already has an increase of cases in their own right, with 50-something people having it.
Yeah, but then
and it's going up.
One team, they had 5 people have it, and they sent all their rookies home. I can't remember. I just read it earlier today, and I can't remember.
They just reported back 2 days ago at the time of recording. 2 days ago, they reported back to camp, and it's already a lot of these teams.
Crazy. So how can football finish? Like the only way you're going to finish a season is you have to follow the NBA and soccer and the WNBA. You have to be in a bubble. UFC, they got Fight Island. Like you have to be.
Oh, that's cool. Though. I like that. Man.
It is though. But you have to be.
You know what's funny about all of these? You can do it at Disney.
Yeah,
all of them. The wide world of sports has when it says sports, they have a field or a court for every sport. They have enough hotels for everybody. Go to Disney. I know Florida has the stuff, but you are in a protective bubble.
Right.
You don't have to venture out. They could literally have soccer. They have hotels for them. They play on their field. You can play NFL football because what? Or they could travel, right? You would say so. They could travel for football to UCF. They could because what the Pro Bowl's there now.
Mm-hmm.
So you could make that little bus ride commute to that, or play at Wide World of Sports. Like just keep them in the hotels, test them 2 times a day like they do. Have them in the bubble. Call it a day. You have to do it. I think it's too late. Baseball's already started. It's over.
Yeah,
it's over. To me, but football can still be saved.
To me, it's a money grab. The owners don't want to spend the money. The players don't want to be. They want to make money, but they want their cake and eat it too. They want to make money, but they don't want to be away from their families. And it's like, but you kind of got to pick one or the other. Like you gotta look at this year as making money as owners is a wash.
Yeah. Oh, that's for sure. But real quick, a lot of the owners own a lot of other things.
Right. No, they're not gonna hurt. They definitely not gonna hurt.
You know, millionaires want more millions. So, the NBA, what did they have to pay for? They had to pay just for the hotels? Like, what are you paying for?
Well, I guess, I don't know.
Hotel and food.
Well, and probably the accommodations, probably like the sanitizer and all that had to be shipped in. But are you talking about for Disney?
Yeah.
Probably so.
To be in the bubble, I would have to say it would have to be to own pretty much you're renting out the whole hotel because nobody else can stay in there. The whole hotels, plural. The food to pay
the people,
to pay the staff, Disney staff.
Yep.
You
also got to pay people who's doing the tests because they do tests every day.
Yeah, they have a whole facility. So I was just wondering. Huh?
They got people wiping off like their Amazon packages. They got people cleaning off them before giving it.
That's good. Because those people are still going to order stuff.
Right.
That's awesome. So I guess it's that. I forgot the number. They dropped a number too of how much it was. I don't remember what it was, but I just thought they were also adding more to the players, but no, they're giving the players just their normal contract salaries. So
Right.
it's not anything additional.
Right. And it's just like unless you do the bubble format, because NBA just reported they have zero. They have had zero for they haven't had one since they started the bubble.
In the bubble. Nobody in the bubble.
In the bubble. Like somebody like Russell Westbrook had one before.
Outside. Yeah.
Outside and then he came in, Zion Williamson, he went for a family emergency and he was quarantined for 4 days. So he'll be active tonight.
Why 4 days though? What an odd number.
Just to make sure, because the incubation period, they just want to make, I guess, because then I would say you would probably need 10 days if you leave.
That's what I was saying. Wasn't it longer?
No, for him they gave him 4 days. They gave Lou Will 10 days.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they gave him 10.
We'll get into that, I guess, right?
Right, but I just don't.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Even college football, like, and we're going to talk about college football a little later. I don't know how any of these finish a season other than basketball and WNBA and the ones that are in a bubble.
College football, I know these kids. They're kids. At the end of the day, they're going to run wild, right?
They think they're invincible at this point.
Yes, but in regards to things, I don't know how they're going to control this. They're going to need to hire somebody on that staff to monitor what I'm about to say. They're going to be required to wear masks on the sideline. We talked about this on the podcast.
Right.
That's already better than the NFL.
Right.
As is. But because I already can, these grown muscular men aren't going to wear masks. They're not going to want to. I'm talking about the NFL people. I don't know. I can't speak on their behalf, but I can just see it. But
because remember what I told you? You said, what does it take for NBA to succeed with this? And I said you have to have 100% buy-in from the players. 100%. If you're gonna have the 100% buy-in when people in a bubble, then you're gonna have to have 150% buy-in for the ones
more than that.
Like you got.
I think the bubble's the only way. You can't. Right. There's no way, and it's already failing with baseball. It's already failing. It's already failing. It's already failing with NFL before NFL even has started.
Yes, and that's why I don't understand why players at this point would say no, but still want to do it. Like, to me,
they don't want the isolation.
Yeah, but if Mike Trout wants to be there for his daughter, which is fine, which is admirable. You know, my wife is pregnant with my first kid, and which is admirable. But it's like, then don't play.
Right.
But you still want to play and then do it, and then we're gonna have this half-done product. We're gonna have all these games. The Braves are 3-3. Who knows when the season might get suspended because so many people have. It's just like we're already putting the asterisk on the winner anyway.
So just real quick, as far as like Mike Trout and his wife being pregnant, you don't want to be in the bubble in his situation. You also don't want to play. You don't want to play because you don't want to get it. But also, if you're in the bubble, she can't be with you. You can't see her.
She can't.
So
she needs doctors. Like, she needs to be able to see the doctors that they won't have in the bubble.
So it's super, super like tricky for him or anybody in that situation, including the Russells. What they already had their kid.
Yeah, they just had their kid, but still, would you want?
No, it's still the same thing. In the womb or out the womb, fresh out, the immune system's not there. Even for my son, 6 months, like it's not 100% there for me to be like, yeah, let me do what I want. So yeah, it's tricky for him, but everybody else, established or no kids, it's just it's the country, man. They just think
we're so much of a money grab that we're doing stuff for money instead of kind of the smart. Like, we should have.
We know that.
Yeah, they should have just did a bubble. Should have just did one.
I just believe that these players don't want to feel like they're pent up in a jail-like setting, which to me, if you watch what's going on with the NBA, these dudes are having fun.
Yeah.
It's literally like going to one of those all-American camps and all the best players are there and you're hanging out with your boys. You don't have any girlfriends, no wives, you're just cutting it up with your boys, having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could get old at the 4-month point or however long.
Yeah, but that's for people who make it that long. Like those ones are like the Lakers who are chasing a championship. So you're still hungry for that championship. Other people like the Wizards, we're gonna do these 10 games because it starts in and we're
gonna baby, I'll be back soon.
I'll be back. 10 games. 10 games out my belt. Gonna be out of there. So speaking of which, NBA is back today. I still have a problem with it being 22 games. I mean 22 teams. I still have an issue with it because I did a research.
That is a lot though.
It should have been all 30 teams or just
right? Listen to that. 22 out of 30.
Right.
You could have literally just brought everybody.
Yeah. And this is why I did the research. The teams, I did the top 10 teams of the youngest by age. Atlanta Hawks are number 1 as the youngest of the starters.
Dang.
They're number 1. Out of all 10, how many of these teams you think is in the playoffs?
Out of 10 of those young teams?
The youngest teams in the league. Youngest starting lineups in the league. The top 10, how many are in the playoffs? Are in this bubble? How about that? 1.
Okay.
The Memphis Grizzlies are the only one.
Interesting.
All the rest of them, if you even go down to the top 11 teams, only one of them are in. And that's why I'm saying it was unfair that the Warriors didn't come, the Hawks didn't come, the Bulls didn't come, the Knicks didn't come, the Pistons didn't come.
I think the Warriors are good.
The Warriors are probably the only exception.
Thank you.
The Warriors probably didn't want to come anyway.
Yeah, they didn't. They chopped that season up like way before after Steph got hurt.
Yeah, they was like, we just here. But the Timberwolves didn't go. Like, these are the youngest teams starting lineups in the league, and they need that experience. So, anyway, let me get off my high horse because I'm mad about that. NBA is today. Utah and New Orleans is the first game at 6:30.
And the big dogs after that.
Big dogs. Both LAs, the Lakers and the Clippers.
That's going to be so good. I'm sorry. Hopefully it is. Yeah.
Who do you think is going to win the championship?
You know what's crazy? Real quick to answer this with the flashback. At the origin of this podcast, people,
right.
Did we not? Man, that's why I love this podcast. It's a happy time of week, and plus, you guys should just embrace this.
Right.
All right. Let me get off this high horse that we're on. But okay, we predicted Kawhi possibly going to the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
It happened. Nobody else was saying. Nobody else, period, saw him going there. What did we say? We said them, and it was like
Toronto was the other one. We had those two.
Him staying with Toronto?
Yeah.
I thought we had one more.
We didn't have the Lakers. Well, the talks were the Lakers. I didn't think we had the Lakers at all.
No, because that kind of got written off early.
Right.
But yeah, so we had this, and I think I was getting confused with Orlando Magic. We said what Jimmy Butler should have gone there, or somebody should have gone there.
Right.
Westbrook, right?
Yeah, Westbrook, yeah. Westbrook. Okay, no, we had Westbrook to the Heat. I think we had him to the Heat at first.
Who did we have going to Orlando? We had somebody going to Orlando.
Right. We had. I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, so with this being said, I said it back in the day, way back when in early podcast episodes with this whole Kawhi thing. So to answer this question, finally, an LA team. An LA team. It's going to be one. It's going to be.
I'm sorry. That's funny.
I did all that talking just to say LA team.
I thought you were saying Clippers. Well, you did kind of.
Clippers or Lakers?
I agree with you in an extent. I agree.
But more so Lakers.
Yeah, I think the Lakers, and because of the Clippers,
they get an advantage in this bubble.
Yeah, but Montrezl Harrell, I don't think he's gonna miss the opening games. Lou Will, we're gonna talk about Lou Will in a little bit. He's gonna miss the first 2 games. Kawhi always sits out every other game. You don't even know how they're gonna be together. The Lakers, I think, are hungry. They're a big team. Like, even if you take JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard off the court, you still got Anthony Davis who could play center, shoot threes, could guard all 5 positions. I think the Lakers. I think it'll be.
I think they're the most stacked team in the bubble.
Yeah, I think it'll be Bucks and Lakers. I think Boston can get the Bucks a run for their money a little bit, but Bucks and Lakers, and I have the Lakers winning the championship.
I haven't seen or heard anything about those boys.
No,
I haven't seen anything. How are the Celtics looking? How are the Bucks looking? I haven't heard anything.
So I watched the Celtics yesterday because of the scrimmage, but it was since it was the last game, they didn't play any of their starters.
Yeah. When did they play?
What was it? They played yesterday. You said who?
No, but I mean actual games. Like it starts today.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know who play. I don't know the schedule. I don't need to look at that schedule.
Yeah, tomorrow. I think we both do because it's a whole different dynamic.
Yeah. So tomorrow starts at 2:30. Orlando, Brooklyn. 4:00 is Memphis, Portland. Oh, they got 2 Portland. 2 4:00 games. I mean, Memphis, Portland, Phoenix, and Washington. Then you got Boston and Milwaukee, 6:30. And then you end it with Sacramento and San Antonio, and you got Houston and Dallas tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday.
Why are we playing games?
Because you got to jam pack these 10 games, and then you got the
plus a lot of people are out of work and they're home, so they can watch. So that makes sense.
Yeah, we were all working from home and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm gonna be watching it at 2:30.
I will. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess I forgot. No, that makes it 2:30. That's super early. All right. Well, I'm down. As long as it's competitive,
right?
Since it will be. So we'll see.
Since I brought up Lou Will has served a 10-game, almost like a suspension, but it's a 10-day quarantine because he left because he went to a funeral, family member passed, and going out, he went to Magic City to pick up wings, and because of that, the NBA, because we talked about Zion only had a 4-day quarantine. Because he did that, Lou Will had a 10-day quarantine.
But you have to tell people, why is this one deeper, and what is Magic City?
Magic City is a strip club in Atlanta.
Yes. Okay.
He said that he was just going to get wings. Magic City is still they're back in full force. They're not. There's energy. You ain't go there.
There's no strippers wearing masks. So
yes. So some people are saying it's a big deal. Some people are saying it's not. Where do you fall in this?
Which we know what I'm about to say is not true. If he if he wore a mask and went to get wings and left, okay. Right. I hear their wings are fire.
I gotta go.
Yeah, I've heard it for years, actually. But I doubt he did that. I doubt he went to get those with the mask on and left. And if so, he could have had one of his boys go in, get him, come back. Which would have been the best thing to do.
Would have been the best thing to do.
I'd still need him to wear the mask, go in, get it, because he'd be coming back. But anyways, I know he stayed.
Right.
I know he stayed. So I think, he deserves the quarantine suspension.
Okay. This is what I say, and I don't know if you're going to agree with me. They should have asked Lou Will to leave for the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, because he is on one. Yeah, he's on one of the teams that are in the bubble.
They should have asked him to leave. And that's why, and I know I don't want to be the old, fuddy-duddy guy, but the problem is, if you're going to do this, you need 100% buy-in.
That's already breaking the rules.
That's already going to, I know if he got wings at Wingstop, will it be a bigger deal? No. And because it's a strip club, yes, it makes it a bigger deal. But this is something you didn't have to do. Like you said, you put up a good point I wasn't even going to make. Have one of your homies get it. Mm-hmm. So this is what happened. He goes into Magic City. He's ordering wings. A guy takes a picture of him, posts it.
The picture.
Yeah, this is how they got caught. Then the guy tried to lie and say this was an old picture. But the issue is Lou Williams is wearing his mask that they gave them in Orlando in the bubble. Like it has it on there. So like that's how he got
my
caught.
goodness.
The fact of the matter is the way this looks, you got to have 100% buy-in. Like you said, have one of your homeboys go, or just don't go there. I got to be focused on this. I can't risk it.
Yes, at this point, since he is in one of the teams, I get you were excused, understandable, to go to the funeral. Makes sense. You should be able to. But the unnecessary additional stops, you don't need to do yourself, at least.
Don't do it yourself. And you gotta say, I gotta go. I got a championship. I'm not trying to risk the bubble.
Because that's the same thing.
You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, because that's the same thing.
Because what's everybody gonna remember? But you're gonna remember Rudy Gobert, right? You remember Rudy Gobert as the first person in the NBA who had COVID, and he was.
I actually forgot. Yeah.
He's playing. That could potentially you doing extra stuff could be Lou Will who messed up the restart.
Nothing will be bad as that. Nothing will be as bad as that. The Rudy Gobert.
If Lou Williams got COVID going to the strip club and started infecting people,
but with the NBA already making him quarantine, that legacy's already good. He's already good.
Right.
Because of the NBA saving his butt. But the Rudy thing, bro, you played around touching the mics. A few days later, you get tested, and you actually had it.
Yep.
Like, that's insane to me. But, yes, I didn't even think about that, what you mentioned about he should be asked to stay home. Because you know the rules. It's the same thing with the people in the bubble, like you were in. The people in the bubble can't go out. There's strip clubs in Orlando. I can't go out. I'm sure they have fire wings. Right. I can't get them. Also, I can't even have anybody bring me any. You can't have anything.
Right.
Unless you Amazon shipped them. But no, but other than that, yeah, I agree with you. He should be asked to stay home.
Yeah, I just think it's just you want to set precedent and you want to set like, hey, we're taking this extremely seriously. And anybody who
should be fine. He should be fine too.
Right. I'm with that too, because we have to take this seriously. If we're gonna crown this champion, do all this, we need to take this seriously. You need to take this seriously. So just wait until your 4 months is up. If you're a champion, you go that far, and then get your wings, how many wings as you want afterwards. But I think do that. It just wasn't a good look, and I don't want to be that fuddy-duddy, no fun guy. But it just wasn't a good look, man. It wasn't a good look for him to do it.
This is business.
Yeah, it's just you could have ruined your chances. I just don't think the risk was worth it. But he got 10 games. I mean, he basically got suspended because he's going to miss the first 2 games. So
that's stupid, and could be crucial.
Yeah, and could be crucial.
He's amazing 6-man.
So speaking of which, one thing football is doing is they're opting players to kind of they can opt out of the season if they want to. So we've had several players opt out. Basically, if you opt out for medical reasons, you still get a stipend of $350,000. If you opt out for non-medical reasons, you get $150,000. So you still get paid. You still get paid, but you just don't. You just get the $150,000, which is most of what we're making.
Do you think some of these big players will do it?
No, I don't. Well, so far, I think the deadline is this week for them to say if they're playing or not. And the biggest player we've had was was the Patriots, the linebacker. God, I just had it.
Well,
I gotta find it again.
To mention, we've had they have had 6 Patriots, right? Players opt out.
Patriots, yeah.
They're already
6 players.
up in that season to just be like, nah, it's over.
Don't 6 players. I think 3 of them are starters. Like that's devastating.
Starters and depth chart.
Right.
That's a lot of people. You got to think there's 11 people on a field for a team. You just took out 6.
I forgot Patrick Chung was one of those players. So you had one of your safeties is gone.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, that's devastating, man.
I really want to know how the Russells and other people who have pregnant spouses, what are they going to do?
I don't,
because you got to understand this sport. There's no social distancing in the sport.
There's none. That's why I thought the jersey spot makes sense.
Except the punter.
Right.
But he still has to touch the ball.
Yeah,
but he can wear gloves. He can wear gloves.
Right.
But other than that, there's no social distancing in that sport at all. At all.
No.
What are the sidelines going to look like?
I know. It's going to be very interesting. And then no preseason games.
And then look how much, excuse guys, the siren going on the street in the background. Excuse that, please. Mm-hmm. So you know how much people spit in football,
right?
Just being on baseball too, all on the field where you play. I don't see how Daryl this is gonna work out.
Yeah, and then
I want it back, but I don't see how
without a bubble. But I don't like. Luckily, there's no Atlanta Falcons. None of them have opted out. I think Todd Gurley.
I'm not mad at him.
Todd Gurley talked about it, but
I think
he's playing. But I just think we're gonna get this watered down product. Marcus Goodwin or Godwin from the Eagles, he's opting out because his daughter, like his is Marquise Goodwin. He used to be for the 49ers last year, and now he plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, which know they have no receivers on that team. Nope. But he opted out because his wife, they had lost a baby. Yeah. I think she had a couple miscarriages and lost the baby. And now they just had a daughter, and he doesn't want to risk the daughter.
Oh, heck no.
He's opted out. So that's why with Russell Wilson, that's what I thought about him, because they just welcomed their son. And
I don't know how he's going to do that.
That's why you had to have the bubble. But not only could COVID hurt the season, all these players opting out could hurt the season as well.
But it can also give the non-preseasoners a chance to at least be backups, and backups would be starters, and it can work out. And there's a silver lining out there. There's something. But yes, as far as what we want to see, it could suffer because stars are now not all playing, or second stringers aren't playing. So you might get a third, fourth string league, a lot of them, and that could be bad.
That's why I was arguing the fact that maybe we should, other than basketball, since basketball's doing a bubble, and soccer's doing a bubble. Anybody who's doing a bubble, this doesn't, they're exempt from this. I was thinking like we should have shut sports down just till the end of the year, like start everything next year. But this is why, because we're getting this watered down product. We don't even know if we can crown a Super Bowl champion or World Series champion. And the World Series don't even look like likely. Like, because how can you really, other than a bubble, how can you protect from this thing? If you're still allowing people to go home, and then their families can interact with people, and then they can interact with people, you just don't know.
Yeah, nope.
And like the test, I think it was, what you said the number was 50-something people tested positive in the NFL?
NFL alone, yes.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it has 0?
Yeah.
WNBA, NBA has 0?
Because of the bubbles. Their own bubbles. I saw something. One of the teams for college football was already doing their own little bubble. Because they stay on campus and they train. Like if you've done college football like I've done, your whole life is watching film, working out, you eat together. It's you have whole, especially off season,
Right.
you're always together. So might as well be in a bubble and make sure that everybody does it right. I forgot the team. I had it, but I don't recall what the team name was or the college team. But yeah, I wish everybody would just do right. Do right.
Yeah, but even if your team does right, what about the team you're playing against?
I'm saying every team. I wish every team would do right.
That's why you have to have this huge buy-in from everybody. Has to be able to make this sacrifice. The owners, they have to make the sacrifice, or the athletic directors have to basically say, we're not going to be making a ton of money this year. Correct. We're basically putting it on for the love of it at this point. And players have to be like, hey, I have to sacrifice if I want to do it, especially if I'm a college player. College players might be a little easier. Like I sit in a bubble for a bunch of months because I'm trying to impress the scouts. So yeah. I'm definitely, and that's one reason with the Jamal Adams trade, when he got traded to the Seahawks, they said the Seahawks were willing to give up their first round pick because they didn't want nothing to do with this draft. Because you're thinking evaluating talent is going to be hard.
Because one of you'd have to evaluate off of 2 years.
Yeah, you can't just count this year. It can't be a Joe Burrow this year.
That's true.
Can't because you can't trust it. You can't.
So if it happens, you can trust it though, right? Like if the season continues, college football happens, you can trust it because you get to see it.
Talent, like especially like the SEC. If a Joe Burrow happens, let's say.
Oh, you mean in that regards, as far as they don't get to play outside of?
Yeah, I'm saying like a player comes out of nowhere for 1 year, comes out of nowhere.
No, I ain't trusting that Joe Burrow's type right now.
Yeah, so that's why the Seahawks got out of it because they're like, I don't want to be no parts of trying to evaluate this talent.
No, I get it. I get it.
I mean, it's gonna to me.
That's smart.
Basketball is going to be the only sport, and I'm saying NBA, WNBA, and soccer as well.
Yeah.
But soccer even had Orlando backed out because they had so many positive cases at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So even that wasn't even. But I think that was going into it.
Yes.
They backed out.
But
yeah. Go ahead. I was saying if you back out, you can't come back. So, like Nick Markakis, he backed out, but now he's coming back to the Braves?
Yes, he is.
Football is no coming back if you back out.
As far as players?
Yes, players. You can't come back.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, that's their rule.
Because you're getting paid. They're giving you that.
Well, I guess that's the out of it.
Yeah.
We're paying you, so you can't.
I didn't use any of it here. Have it back. Let me play.
Here it is. I'm paying you.
So real quick about the NFL, no preseason. Do you think there are going to be a lot of injuries?
Yes.
Yes, me too. I didn't want to say it. Yes. I'm sorry. It's terrible. It happens. You know who I need to get past 2 games?
Oh,
Keanu.
Yeah. Right.
Get me to 3+ games, man.
Right.
2 years in a row.
The winner of the Super Bowl will be the team who's close together. Who's closely.
It's going to have to be.
Like, you have to be the close-knit. The whoever's like their brothers. Yeah. That's who's going to win in this.
Who is your preseason, even though there's no actual preseason, but who is your preseason or off-season favorite? It has to be back-to-back.
Yeah, it has to be. Has to be the Chiefs.
It has to be the Chiefs. You have to go with the Chiefs right now. Their team's already sound. It's already together. They're strong. They're solid. They're already won.
They pretty much the same team.
They are the same team pretty much. So, yeah, that's the favorite.
First-round pick is a running back from LSU. Hilaire. And running back is probably, I mean, you could probably answer this better than I, since you play football. I would think one of the easier of the positions because people switch out running back so easily.
Yes,
so
nowadays, yes.
Yeah, it's not like you got a quarterback or a left tackle that has to kind of learn.
Yeah,
you got somebody who, it's a little easier position to learn, and then he's a receiving threat as well as a running. So yes, Kansas City, absolutely,
all day.
Kansas City, I think, is going to win. And speaking of teams trying to get better,
you
hear about Lamar Jackson asking the Ravens to sign Antonio Brown. The funny thing about this is I said it last week.
You did.
The only locker room
podcast, man.
would have been the Ravens because of the coach and the locker room, I think, could check him. What do you feel about Lamar Jackson asking the Ravens, though?
For your reasoning is very sound, and I say yes. Lamar's reason is off of talent.
Right.
I don't think he's thinking of what this dude could do to the locker room. I just think he's oh man, he's a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring him in.
I threw with him. He looks good. He's gonna be the best receiver I have. All I have is Hollywood Brown, who only does down the field threats.
Yes, big seam routes.
Yeah. Antonio Brown can be the underneath. He could cut. He could play the slot. He could play the outside. He could play different positions. We saw
he's not looking at the attitude, the character, and what he can bring and do negatively to the locker room. I don't like saying this about people, but you built your own reputation, and now it's going to follow you. This is who you are for the rest of your time, at least playing.
And this is your fault. I think, like you said, he's looking at talent because you could see in the Titans game they missed an actual receiving threat.
Yes,
they missed that. I think Antonio Brown, talent-wise, would be great. And this is another reason that the Ravens didn't draft a receiver, which was shocking. They didn't draft it. So they have a wide open slot at receiver.
So do you think they're going to pull the trigger?
No, I don't.
I don't think anybody is. Well, Seattle does actually want him, but the NFL is going to block that.
And then Seattle doesn't make sense because you have receivers. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, you have receivers. You don't need Antonio Brown. I think the Ravens.
I'm saying, when they did win the Super Bowl, they were stacked.
Right.
At receiver.
You're right.
Oh, that was such a good time.
Because you had Doug Baldwin too. Like, I think Antonio Brown, talent-wise, is great for Baltimore. I just think his attitude isn't.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm married to a Baltimore family, and I asked them, would you want Antonio Brown? And they all said no.
Yep. Attitude, even man.
The glaring need at receiver. It's a glaring need.
It's sad, isn't it? Like, you're the one thing. Listen, you could possibly be the piece to make me win a championship. I don't want you.
I think Lamar wants him. Like you said, Lamar's young.
He wants him because of the hype of what he grew up seeing.
Right. I do think that coaching staff can check him, but but if the Patriots couldn't check him, it's kind of hard to know.
It's hard to commit to that type of structure of the Patriots. It's so
right.
discipline oriented. Like Ocho Cinco couldn't do it. He said he couldn't have fun. It hurt his playing.
Right, and you could tell it hurt it.
You could tell. So it's not for everybody. But I think this one's different. I think he should and he could go to Baltimore and it would work out. But at the same time, too, you don't want it to. We got to pay more attention to disciplining this player, which is going to take more mental effort away from the right things. That team's already dominant. They just sucked during the playoffs, but that team's still great. That team was supposed to run away with the whole thing.
Yeah,
but something happened. Just fix that.
But also, they're a running team.
Yes.
Like, Antonio Brown is not going to get his catches with that team. Even though
at this point he'll take any signing.
then I hope that's the case, because they're not like, you don't want to deal with his ego too on top of it.
It would happen.
So if you're dealing with an ego, then don't even do it.
Yep.
Because y'all are a running team anyway.
Mm-hmm. It'll happen.
I kind of hope they do. I kind of hope they don't do it, but I think he'll be great for the team. But I don't, like, talent wise, he'll be great for the team.
In just speaking about like inside of NFL teams and seeing how they're structured and what's going to happen, I just saw officially it's still going to happen. The Hard Knocks is still going to happen on HBO with the 2 LA teams. So I think that's really interesting. Good. Plus, because usually they start it with before preseason, like right before preseason, and then it goes all the way to the last preseason game. Usually that's how Hard Knocks works.
Right.
Before the actual real season starts. So with no preseason, what are you guys covering? Practices? Because you can't scrimmage.
Can't scrimmage. Yeah. I don't know.
So what are you covering?
I'll be interested in how they evaluate talent.
And that's what I'll like with. I love Hard Knocks. We'll get to see this. We'll get to see how are they going to evaluate talent. I get they make some cuts based off of practice. Oh, he doesn't give effort. He drops too many balls. But as far as people who really are on the bubble or the fence of he can make this roster, but I'm not sure, or they're 2 guys, but we only have 1 spot left. How are they going to do that? Yes, and I'm talking about not even the aspect of, we'll keep them on the practice squad. We'll release them. If nobody claims them off waivers, we'll re-sign you to practice squad. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actual 57 man roster.
It's I thought it was 53. I was wondering why they didn't go over the roster.
Yeah,
more. It should be like a 60-man roster.
Yeah, I agree. For real, I agree. So what? 53-man roster. People who can actually make that.
Right.
I'm curious with Hard Knocks. How are we going to see that? So we'll see.
Hey, we just got some news that the Falcons signed cornerback Darqueze Dennard. He was from Michigan State. He played with the Bengals last season at cornerback.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah,
I liked him.
No, I think we needed, because our cornerback is so young that we needed veteran.
How many years do I have to say about these DBs?
Wipe out the whole secondary.
Wipe out the whole thing and build around Keanu. The whole thing. And they've been adding. They've been doing their part. I'm not mad at them. They just need to come together and give me what I want on the field, play right.
Right.
We'll see.
I'm like, if you're going to play the young guys, play them. So if you're going to have Isaiah Oliver, you're going to have AJ Terrell, Kendrick Griffith, play them. Like, don't have a veteran come in. Play them.
No, I'm saying play the people who you're signing that you're getting. I said clean house because those dudes already proved they can't come together.
Right.
How many years do we have to keep doing this and paying these people? They're not good for us. So clean house, call it a day. And like they've been doing very well. They've been signing good people.
Right.
Play them immediately. I'm not saying wait. Play all of them now. Because I think they have the talent to last right now. Play them now. Just
did you see that Vic Beasley didn't show up to Titans camp yet?
But he is going to.
No, he is. I mean, he got a guaranteed contract. He should show up.
I just
$9 million guaranteed. But for him not to aren't you like, man, I'm glad that we got.
I saw that. I got the Bleacher Report on that, and I was like, I'm good.
But this is why it hurt us. So the compensatory picks, if he gets cut, then we lose that pick. He won't. But I'm just saying if he would have, but we're in consideration for it because we took in less than what we lost.
Right.
So we get those picks. So in their 5th round picks. So that's why he could have still hurt us. If he wanted to still sack the Falcons, he could have. And
it'll also be damaging your career. So
yeah, well, yes, definitely. All right. So speaking
Real
of
quick,
damaging,
basketball is going live as we speak, as at the time of recording.
yep.
With your boy Meek Mill's talking.
Meek Mills is talking.
Yeah, man, he's doing a
I
little
haven't-
speech. I can't hear it because it's muted, but yeah, it's about Black Lives Matter. So yeah.
Oh, nice. So speaking of basketball, this is my last topic. I don't know if you have another one, but I have another. But
Nope.
Tom Thibodeau is getting
Same
a
pick.
5-year deal from the Knicks. Do you think this changes the Knicks?
I think yes, but usually they don't give him long enough to make the change.
That's true.
They do not ever give him enough time anymore to make the change. I think he's definitely the guy to do so.
I agree with you, but I have a problem. The main problem is the guy named James Dolan. He's the owner of the Knicks, if you heard about him. Knicks have no direction. The Knicks keeps every year they're like, we're gonna get top free agents, and the top free agent never comes. They never come.
And it is funny. All that time they had to get a good player, and they don't do a good job.
Yeah, Julius Randle was your star.
That's it. That's your star. Your star signing.
So they need to embrace building through the draft. Like, stop chasing these stars. Like, let's say if you get the number 1 pick, you will have Mitchell Robinson. Let's say you get LaMelo Ball. So you have LaMelo Ball, RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Knox. That's a good young team to start building around.
I agree.
Not a lot of defense.
People want it now. They don't want to build. They don't want to do what the Warriors did. They want it now. Immediate signings.
They see the Warriors championships and be like, they want that, but forgetting that Steph Curry's year they won 29 games.
Other games, yes, they won 16. Like there's terrible past. Like they got blown out.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, I was trying to think of.
They almost trade. Remember, they was talking about trading either Curry or Monte Ellis at one point.
Yes.
Getting either one because they said they couldn't play together. Like, you want the Warriors.
The thing that was interesting, they actually could play together.
But they're saying you couldn't win together. Like, what I'm saying is you want the Warriors' success, but forget how the Warriors got there. That's why everybody, when they compare like Trae Young to Steph Curry, I was like, no, Steph Curry they weren't winning in the second season either.
Yeah.
They weren't winning. They didn't win until Mark Jackson got there.
Yeah.
Like, seriously winning. So people have to go through the journey. The Knicks keep trying to jump the line, and nobody wants to be there. Like, nobody. No.
It's so sad because their reputation over the years is just like, it was so good.
It was so good.
Now,
stop it. Stop jumping the line. Nobody wants to be there. Go through the draft. Hopefully you get the number 1 pick. Get LaMelo Ball.
I just looked it up. October 16th.
Yep. LaMelo Ball in New York is great.
Oh.
I think the lottery is in this month, right? Well, next month, August.
Let me double check real quick. So yeah, guys, the draft's Friday on the 16th of October. So literally right around the corner.
Yeah.
Okay. And then real quick, the lottery is August 25th on a Tuesday.
Yeah. So like build, like just like the Hawks are doing, build through the draft. The Hawks are doing how they should be doing.
Correct.
Everybody's
I still say the coaching change needs to happen.
Yeah. You've been on that they need the change. I'm gonna say this.
If we got tips,
go ahead. Oh yeah. If we got tips, they playing
right now.
They playing defense.
Right now, man. I don't know.
So a lot of people, I was talking with one of my coworkers, and he brought up the NBA draft. I'm gonna talk about the draft real quick because I've been itching to talk about the NBA draft, but it's too far away.
And real quick, the TNT guys, they are super social distance on that.
Oh, really?
That desk. Yeah. Yes.
As soon as we get off, I'm about to watch it. As soon as we get off. But I want the Hawks to not win the lottery. I want them to be the 6th or 7th pick. I think they should go for Killian Hayes or Tyrese Halliburton. They're both backup. They'll both play backup point guard.
I still need to do my research for this draft. Yeah.
Who can play defense and shoot threes. That's all you need. You need somebody who can play defense, shoot threes. I do not want them to win the lottery because LaMelo Ball. Remember, I said the Hawks should draft LaMelo Ball. I was dead wrong. He doesn't play a lick of defense.
I know.
Does not
but
play
he's
defense.
excitement to the city.
Yeah, no, he would. It would have been exciting. Him and Trae Young. It just been no. It would have been games. Would have been 200 to 220. Like it would have been no defense played, man.
I don't know. We'll see though. We may win it.
I really hope we don't. Or we trade. If we win it, I hope we trade it. Yeah. But that was. I just wanted to get before we talk serious about it. But that's all my topics. You got anything else?
You think we would actually trade it though?
Yes. Because I don't think they need a starter. You don't need a. First of all, this draft is not that good.
So what would you trade it for though?
I would trade it to go down. I'd rather go down and get solid.
Because it's like such a blessing to get that number one pick.
There's no number one pick player though this year. There's no Zion.
There's not. There's not. No, I agree. But do you just trade down or do you get other things with it? Because that's like
of course gift. You're gonna get other things with it. So if I trade down, I get a pick next year. A pick, go down and get a pick next year. Something like that.
I'd go down and get like a good pick, like a first round pick next year. Oh, that's a steal.
No, I would do that. I just don't want a top pick this year.
Yeah. Okay.
And we'll talk more about the draft once we get closer because I'm itching to talk about the draft.
Oh, I know.
I'm forced to talk about the draft, but we'll talk about it when it gets closer. But that's all my topics. Do you have anything else?
I am all set.